Hello, my name is Danielle Hewitt. My candidate number is 0043880019, and this is my presentation for IB Film Studies Higher Level. Today I will be discussing the 2014 drama film Calvary, directed by John Michael McDonough. The film Calvary runs in a linear way, so this is from the beginning of the story to the end. The film starts with the strangest opening. We find that this character has been raped in the past by a priest, and to get revenge, he wants to kill the current priest. The film then carries on as like a countdown till the priest's death, going through the days of the week and showing what the priest is doing with his last days. Then the film concludes with the killer, as we find out it is Jack who was the butcher, and he shoots the priest on the beach. The audience has an omniscient role in the narrative because we see everything that is shown to us, but the only part that the audience doesn't see is the killer until the end, which would make the film restricted at this point, like a murder mystery. Calvary begins with an equilibrium, which is the state of normality, but this is disrupted by the death threat and all the crimes that were committed throughout the film. For example, the burning of the church, the death of the dog, and ultimately, the death of the priest. After the death of the priest, the events seem to be resolved and it returns to a steady state again, but not the same as before because people have died and the world is now different. In the film, we have many different character types. The hero, who is our main character, Father James. He is the hero in this film because, as a priest, he tries to help everyone, even if they are beyond it. He can clearly see that he is walking to his death in his final days, but still tries to help all of the people he knows, which is the act of a classic hero in films. We also have the villain of the film, Jack. He is the villain because he begins the film by threatening the good innocent priest and ends by killing him. Like all fairy tale villains, something bad happened to him in the past for him to act this way. But it's not like most films where the hero wins. In Calvary, the villain gets what he wants and the hero is not successful. The binary oppositions are quite clear in this film. We have law versus disorder. Our main character, Father James, has to fight against the villain Jack. Father James represents the law because he is a good guy that always does what he believes is right for him and others and never harms people. Jack represents disorder because of his actions that he commits. He thinks that he is better than the law, so he takes matters into his own hands. There is also individual versus town/community. Father James is the individual. He is against the world, always trying to help people and always trying to make the world better. The people that he tries to help is the town. He is fighting a battle that cannot be won. Strong versus weak. Father James can be seen as a strong person. He holds it together for everyone, even when he is threatened and knows that he may be killed in a few days. He stays strong and carries on as if nothing has happened. He never gives up, not even at the end. He dies trying. The weak is Jack, the killer, and everyone around him. They all have problems, and they can't solve them, so they need the priest to help them through everything. And some of them, like Jack, decide to give in to this anger. Good versus evil. Father James is seen as the good and Jack as the bad. James has to fight the evil within and also around him, knowing that he can't always win and get what he wants. Jack is seen as the bad because though he has been through a traumatic experience, he thinks that he can solve his problems with violence. The main themes that are shown throughout the film is revenge. This is because the killer desires to get revenge on the past priest in the Catholic Church by killing the good priest, Father James. Anger is also a main theme in the film, and this is because the rage that is in the killer. He commits crimes through his rage, burning of the church and killing an innocent man. The director of the film is John McDonough, and stars Brendan Gleeson as the main character, the priest, and also Chris O'Dowd as the killer Jack. The film has been classed as a drama, which is quite different from the other films that the director has done. For example, one other film that he has directed is The Guard, 2011, and this is a comedy crime film, and isn't quite as serious as Calvary. He has also directed short films like The Second Death in the year 2000, and has also been credited as a writer and a producer. The motion picture rating for Calvary is rated R, and this is because of the sexual references, language used, and also the strong violence at the end of the film. I think that the director intended the film to this rating, mainly because some of the matters that are discussed in the film may be too complex for a young child to understand, and could also be distressing for teenagers and young adults. I found that in the box office, the film made around $74,000 in the USA on the opening weekend, which is not as much as other films would have made on their opening weekend, and this is because it was filmed and created by independent film companies that may not be widely known as others, or they may just be starting out. As I said, the film was made by independent film companies such as Reprisal Films, Octagon Films, and Lip Sync Productions. These companies may not be widely known, because they are companies in Ireland, where the film was produced, and they may only be known there. I found that Calvary is a very religious film. The title itself is very powerful. Calvary means the hill where Jesus carried his cross to be crucified to atone for other sins. This is what Father James is doing in the film. He has to be killed so that crimes done by the other Catholic priests can be forgiven. The film is actually set before the whole paedophile scandal, but the film is deliberately made so that we think that the main character James is one of the bad priests, especially when he is left alone with the altar boy. The film begins with the character Jack confessing that he was in the past a victim of sexual abuse by a priest. He decides that he will in the end have to kill the good priest, Father James, because killing the good priest is enough to right the wrongs of the others, and is more likely to be more dramatic than killing a bad one, and this links to Jesus and the cross. The entire film refers to the Catholic Church's child abuse scandal. It is a sense of detachment to the subject throughout the film, like what the priest actually says in the film. It is like reading about it in the newspaper. You're shocked, but it hasn't happened to you. It doesn't get to you as much as your dog being killed. Calvary gets to the heart of the matter by bypassing it and cleverly addressing the worst men in the Catholic Church by showing one of the best. For the purposes of this presentation, I will be performing a textual analysis of the extract from Calvary beginning at approximately 1 hour 28 minutes, with the mid-shot, reverse shot scene between the priest and Jack just before the priest is shot, and ending approximately 5 minutes later with a mid-shot of the priest's daughter visiting a prison and sitting down crying. I have chosen this extract because it's the final showdown between the priest and the killer Jack. I think that this is an extremely important extract to the film because it is where we find out who threatened the priest at the start of the film, and also we find out how emotionally traumatized the character actually is. Also, the sound of music is at its best part at the end of the extract because of how powerful and emotional it is. Firstly, at the start of the extract, there are reverse shots all the way through. The killer, Jack, is getting most of the screen time because this is the moment of the film. This is the moment the film has been building up to. It's his moment to tell the audience how he feels and why he is doing what he's doing. Then at the end of the extract, there is a scene with the priest's daughter and the killer in prison. There is a reverse shot here for the last moments. This time, the daughter gets more screen time, and this is because we need to see how she is feeling after the death of her father and see what it has done to her. The killer gets less time because he has done what he wanted to do, and his moment is over. Also, the last gunshot of the film was seen in slow motion, and this emphasises the ending of the killer's anger and makes the scene a lot more dramatic than the gunshot being fast, and over within a second. Also, it makes the scene a bit more emotional because you have to see the priest fall down slowly, which shocks you a lot more than if it were fast. The very last shots of the extract are of the people that the priest has helped, and these are mainly slow and transitioning, and it is showing the audience how he touched people's lives, the ones that he could help and the ones that he couldn't. In addition, I found that the sound was particularly powerful in this extract. During the end shots, there is no dialogue, just slow music in the background. This is done to bring emotion to the scenes, adding significance to the priest in everybody's lives. The silence can be seen as the ending of a war. Silence will fall, so you can take those silent minutes to think about what this person has done for people and what he went through so he can be remembered. Also, at the start of the extract, there is just normal talking between the priest and the killer, having a normal conversation with no music in the background. This makes the first gunshot a lot more powerful because of the loudness and the quickness of the shot shocks you, as you can't see it coming. Also, there is religious music in the background after the first gunshot. It begins quiet, and then after the second gunshot, it gets louder. This relates to how Jesus died. Giving up his life and having the music in the background is like singing a hymn to remember the priest by. Furthermore, after the first gunshot, the priest falls to the floor, and for the rest of the scene, he looks up to Jack with a low-angle shot. This shows the power and the dominance of his character at this moment in the film. The end shots are tracking shots of the characters that the priest has helped. This is like the priest's life in flashbacks before his eyes, showing what he has done for people and showing if his life has been significant for the people that he helped. In addition, in the extract, the scene is mainly plain of any colour. The most eye-catching colour is the robe that the priest is wearing because it is black, and it's the darkest colour on the screen. The dark colour is usually associated with evil and mystery. This could link with the fact that the good priest is representing the revenge to all the bad Catholic priests, and the darkness of the robe could signify the scandal that has recently been happening with the Catholic Church and showing that they are evil and wrong. Then the second most eye-catching colour in the extract is the plain white shirt, what Jack is wearing. This shows the pureness of the victims that the priest have abused. But then, when Jack shoots the priest, the blood splatters onto his shirt, and this could show the evil that has spread to him because of the bright red blood beginning to cover the pure white shirt. Total Film gave Calvary 5 out of 5, and this is written by Andrew Lowry, anchored by a truly sensational performance from Gleeson. This unexpected blend of passion plays detective story. A completely sincere work about a persistence of faith and Catholic Church's soul-shattering legacy of abuse. This literate, beautifully crafted picture should translate in a certain critical plaudits into a distinguished author's reception worldwide. This is written by Justin Chang of Variety. Most of the critics' reviews were applauding Gleeson's acting, and also the director, because he was very good in this, and some of them thought it was wrong for them to do the film because it gets very serious and it can offend many people, but that is what made the film really good, because they decided to be daring, unlike most people, and it did get to the heart of the matter, unlike other films where they tiptoe around the subjects, and this is why people really liked this film. The film won 9 awards and was nominated 16 times. Calvary won Best Actor in the British Independent Film Awards and was nominated for its amazing screenplay. In conclusion, a quote from the film that sums up the whole thing is what the priest says just before he walks to his death. I think there's too much talk about sins and not enough about virtues. I think forgiveness has been highly underrated. So this basically means if Jack could forgive, then his future actions would not have happened, and the priest may still be alive. I think the film will be popular in the future and remembered because it is a film about real-life problems, and people can't forget that. It's just so powerful and thought-provoking.